Howdy folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be doing another episode of World in Flames Collector's Edition, Days of Decision 3 Combined Game Playthrough. This upcoming turn will be the September-October 1942 turn. Well, the only thing I got to say is I think that the early turns ending and the bad weather are really sabotaged the fascists really badly so far. Maybe they can redeem themselves this turn. I don't know, but we'll see. Anyway, let's get started because this might be a long turn. I'm going to try to do this all at one sitting. So let's take a look at starting money. And starting money for this turn, we have Germany at -2, Japan at 0, Italy at -1. I didn't write it down, but the Soviet Union is at 0. The Commonwealth is at -7. The U.S. is at 0. China's at 2. Free France is at 1, and it might matter, it might not matter, but the Vichy French regime right now has about 10. All right, so I've put in bids for the major powers. We have 4 major powers bidding, so let's go and take a look, see how that's going to turn out. All right, we have 4 major powers bidding. We have Germany bidding 1, the U.S. bidding 2 for 2 options, Italy bidding 2, Japan bidding 2 for 2 options, and Free France is bidding 1. So let's see how this is going to turn out. We got Germany bidding 1. They're going to get a +4, so that's 5. So that's definitely putting them in at first place. The U.S. is bidding 2. They're getting a +3 for 5. Divided by 2, that's going to be 2.5. That's going to put them in at second place. Japan's bidding 2. They're getting a +2 for 4. Divided by 2 is 2. Also, Free France is bidding 1. They're getting a +1 for 2. For a tie with Japan, the tie will be broken by the political effectiveness. And you see the Free French are at 2 and Japan is at 4, so Japan will break that tie. Moving her in at third. The Free French will be fourth. The last card is Germany. The last card is Free France. Now the non-bidding major powers, we have the Commonwealth at 3. We have the Soviets at 2. We have the Italians at 1 and China at 0. All right, let's go and look, see what Germany wants to do for a political option. Germany's going to play her 0J option, infrastructure. And what she's going to do is she's going to build this undeveloped resource here just south of Minsk. That's going to cost her 7 money. We don't have to worry about U.S. entry anymore. There's no minor activation with these 0 political options. So we don't roll to end the political phase. So as soon as I put that on the chart and pay for it, we're going to move right on down to the U.S. and see what they're going to do. Okay, the U.S. is going to pick minor economic agreement for her first political option, and she's going to pick Venezuela. She's going to buy 2 oil. That's going to cost a total of $12. There's one political effect here. The U.S. will get a +1 in Venezuela. We'll put that out, and again, we don't roll to see if we're going to end the political phase, because there's a +2 to it, so there's no sense at this point. So I'll move on to the next option the U.S. is going to do, which is going to play the 0J option, infrastructure, and she's going to develop the 2 oil in Houston. That's a total cost of 11. So yeah, we're going spending some money for the U.S. this turn. And so I'll take care of that. That will require the U.S. to roll a die to see if they do end the political phase. So I'll do that right now. See if the political phase ends. Nope, a 3. So we will move on to Japan. See what they want to do. I got to take care of all this paperwork. Okay, let's not forget the U.S. gets to activate a minor. They're going to activate Ireland. So we'll grab the marker. We'll come on over here to the status display. We see Ireland's kind of right there in the middle of the neutral zone. We got a -3 Japan. That's basically going to push Ireland into this hex. And that's going to be that. Now we can move on to Japan and see what Japan wants to do. Okay, Japan's going to attempt to sign a minor alliance with Chile. Now it's going to require a die roll. So we're going to, let's see, we're going to add one for the result for each factory. We have to have a die roll of 0. We'll add 1 to the result for each factory or resource that we have in the minor. And Japan has 2, so that's plus 2. Add the minor's willpower. Well, Chile's willpower is a 5, so that's plus 7. Subtract Japan's initiative position, which is 3, so that's going to be a plus 4. Subtract the distance in hexes in the display, and Chile is actually stacked with Japan right now. And the minor is not hostile. We're not trying to make a break an alliance. So that's going to be a net plus 4. Obviously, easily roll better than a 0. Roll the 9, not that I needed to. So Japan will sign a minor alliance with Chile. The cost for this is going to be 5. The effects are going to be the treaty chart. I'm going to put that out, and when I come back, Japan will get to activate a minor. Okay, Japan gets to activate a minor, and I think she wants to activate Mexico. So let's grab the markers, head over here to the status display. There we go. Alright, so we got 2 markers. We got a 3 for Japan and a -1 for the US. Well, we'll do the -1 for the US. So that's going to move the marker this way. It costs 2 for the hex and 1 to cross the boundary, so that's 3. So that's not even remotely enough. And now we got 3 for Japan. Well, let's see. It's going to be 2 for the hex, -1 for the plus 1 for the boundary, which is 3, but -1 moving towards us in our ideology. So that's going to be 2. And again, it's 2 for the hex, but -1 moving towards us, so that's going to be 1. So that's going to be exactly 3 to get Mexico stacked with Japan. Just like that. Now, the last thing we're going to do for the Japanese is we're going to roll a die to see if they end the political phase. Now, there's been 1, 2, 3 previous political options played. And we roll a 2. That's 3 previous political options played. So that's plus 3. -2 is plus 1. Need a 1 to end. So that does end the political phase. So Japan will not get to do her second political option. And Free France will not get to play a political option either. But Free France will get bonus bid points for the next turn. So I will note that down. And we will move on from here. I'll come back. I got to set out the reinforcements, and then we're going to roll initiative and the weather. September, October should be pretty interesting. I'll be back in a second. All right, let's roll initiative. The ideological modifier track. We have the communists at -1, the Democrats at 0, and the fascists are still at +2. They've preserved that +2 for pretty much the whole game. So here we go. So we're going to have to, let's see, the white are the fascists, the red are the communists, and the blue are the democracies. All right, so let's see. The white are the fascists. So that's going to be a 5. So they're obviously going to win. So they're going to go first. Could be good weather this turn, so I think they want to go first. The Democrats, I think they will be, they'll want to go second. And so the communists will be going last. All right, let me go grab the weather chart. We'll be back and we'll roll the weather. Okay, let's roll weather. A 3. 3, here, move the die. 3 is, oh, look at that. Fair weather everywhere. So the impulse marker will move up 1. There's no modifier to next turn's die roll for weather. So I got to put, oh, let's go take a look at the reinforcements. All right, there's lots of reinforcements. We got some Commonwealth guys coming in, including Monty. All this stack right here, this is all going into the construction pool. The Iowa-class battleship there. Got a couple of Chinese Communist armies. There's a bunch of Japanese units. And we have the typical, with a factory, the typical ton of Soviet units coming in. A few Italians. A bunch of Germans, including a really good SS Panzer Corps. And 3 U.S. Essex-class carriers. So that's going to be a pretty big deal. So I'm going to get these on the board, and when we come back, we will do the first set of impulses, starting with the fascists. Okay, I finished the movement up for the fascist impulse. There's a bunch of ground strikes too to do. That's normally done before movement, but I just kind of do everything at once. Let's see. Okay, we have a number of attacks over here for the Japanese. First one up is we have a 7-to-1 right here. And that's going to be on the assault table. Alright, 7-to-1 assault. That is going to be just 7-to-1 straight up. And that is a 9. Yeah, that's dead. 9 is dead. So that kills that. I gotta put him back in his baggie. And Batavia falls. And that's the capital of the Dutch East Indies. So the Dutch East Indies will surrender after this turn. And we have another attack over here. And we have a 50-to-1 on this 0 strength partisan. So he's dead. And that will occupy the hex. And put him back in the particle box, in the partisan box. And we have one more attack. We have one right here. We have a 3-to-1 in Burma. No, actually it's India. 3-to-1. That's going to be... We'll take HQ benefits. We'll give the Japanese a +1. So we'll be on the assault table. 3-to-1 +1. Let's see what we get. Pick up the wrong die, get the right die, and that is a 5 on the assault table. 5 + 1 is 6, that's -1. -1. So the territorial for India is eliminated. And the Japanese, they will be turned over, but they do get the hex. Which I think is okay as far as they're concerned. Oh, these guys got to get turned over too. Alright, and I think that does it in Asia for this turn. There was no attacks in China. The Chinese wall here is almost impenetrable. It's like 7 to 8 points per hex, and most of them are either behind rivers or doubled in the mountains or both, and Japanese just cannot get anything better than a 1-to-1. Maybe a 2-to-1 if I really have to go and look really difficult to find a 2-to-1 in there somewheres. Alright, let's see what we got down here. We have 2 ground strikes before we do any attacks. You know what? Right there, that's good. Okay, we have a ground strike here. And that's going to be a 2, there's no Commonwealth aircraft down here, so there's no interception. So that's going to be 2. And there's 2 units, the top militia and the bottom militia. The top militia will be the red die. We're looking for 2s, and we didn't get any. Didn't get any. So that's Italian's typical Italian attacks. And that's going to be a 2-to-1. We use HQ benefits. They're going to use Gort to cancel our HQ benefits. Yeah, he can. And but it will be on the Blitzkrieg table, so there will be a net +1. 2-to-1 +1. They're really trying to, the fascists are really trying to get the Suez here. They need something. They need something going for them. 2 to 1 plus 1. Well, that's a big roll. I don't know. Can you see that? Oh, there it is. It's a 9. 2 to 1 on the Blitzkrieg table becomes a 10. That is star 1B. So there's a blitz going on here. Star 1B. That might wrap this up. Let's see. Who is this? Manchester. Glasgow. We'll get Manchester back, I guess. So that comes back next turn. Nope, this ain't on slow-mo. Star 1B. Wow, the Italians come through. Who would have thought? We'll occupy the hex with that. And I think this will blitz here. And we'll leave that right there as well. I can occupy the hex. Let's see if the artillery can occupy the hex too. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah. I think that might actually improve the situation down here for the Foches a little bit. We have a second ground strike right here. That's a 1-pointer. And so it's going to be 2-1. So the Commonwealth unit will be the red die, and the French unit underneath will be the green die. There we go. That's right here. And we got a 1. We did get a 1. The French unit is not affected, but the territorial was flipped over. Something about territorials. Whose territorial is this? So he's going to actually have another -1 because the territorial defending outside its own area, it suffers a -1. So we have a 3 to 1. We'll use HQ benefits. So I have 3 to 1. We got a +1, +2. It's on. It's not going to be on the Blitzkrieg table because there's French armor there, and we only have an equal amount. So it's going to be 3 to 1, +1, +2. He's going to use HQ benefits, so that's going to be a +1. A total of 3 to 1 +1. Let's see what we get. Ooh, that's pretty good. That's a 7. 3 to 1, a 7. That is a 1-2. So all the German units are going to be flipped, but both Allied units are toast. Yeah, both Democratic units, the British, the Commonwealth, and the French unit are both toast. That's that French Armored HQ, de Gaulle. That's a big loss. And we have to lose 1 German unit here. Guess we're going to lose the infantry. Yeah, infantry. We're going to lose the infantry, but I think it's probably worth it. All these units are going to be flipped over anyways. But that kind of screws them big time down there. All right, let's go. Actually, the fascists are having kind of a good turn here. Amazing. Usually they just choke. All right. Okay, let's see. All right, now we got some ground strikes right here, and the Soviets don't have any fighters in range. So that ground strike will go through. That's a 6. So the red will be the top unit, and the green will be the bottom unit. We're looking for 6s. And we got the red, the top unit is flipped over. And we have a 5 to 1 +1. It's actually the town of Orel there. I think this is going to be on the assault table. 5 to 1 +1. And that's an 8, which becomes a 9, which is cross. No, I'm sorry. which is star 2S. So there are no German units flipped over. That is a big bonus. Both Soviet units die, and Orel falls. It actually fell in 41 originally. And we'll go with them too. I can't blitz because it was on the assault table. But that's all right. We're okay with that. That was a good roll. I'm going to put him back here. Let's see. 2, 3, 4. He can go right here. All right. We have another ground strike here. We can actually intercept with some Soviet fighters, I think. Yes, we can. And we will intercept. And the Germans will counter-intercept. And now we're going to have an air battle. Going to have us an air battle. Yeah, it's not a very good for the Germans. It's going to be on the +2, -2 column. Okay, so the Soviets are going first, so they roll first on the +2, and they roll really high. That is an 18. That is an AX. Attacker destroys defender's front fighter or front bomber. We're going to destroy the bomber, and the pilot is killed. And the Romanian fighter gets to shoot back, and he rolls a 5 on the -2. 5 on the -2 is AA. Attacker abort. Not that it matters. Not that it matters. So the Romanian will go fly home. The Soviet unit will fly. Ew. Ew. Yeah. Big stacks. Big stacks like to fall over. You'll go here. You'll go here. And that was a big plus. That was a big plus. Alright. We got to do something about this. So we do have a 5-1. Yeah. I don't think the Soviets are going to throw in their bomber. It's not going to change. And this is on the Blitzkrieg table. It's going to be a +1. Cross 1R. Cross 1R. All right. Well, obviously we'll lose that. He gets to back up. These two are going to flip. I got to flip 3 units. 2, 3. All right. All right. Okay, we have a 6-1 attack right here on the Blitzkrieg table. Now the Soviets could throw in some air power and change it to a 4-1, but the Germans do have a very good fighter right here, and they don't want their Sturmovik getting mangled. Let's see. Let's check 4 versus, yeah, it's +3, -3. Yeah, not a good idea. Not a good idea. All right, so we got 6-1 +1 on the Blitzkrieg table. All right, let's see what we get. That's a 7. That's star 2B. Star 2B, and that's going to be exploiting. We're going to be blitzing on this one. Those 2 cheap militia units. Oh no, it's a cav unit that died too. That's a cav unit that died as well. We're going to put him. Actually, let's put the 10-5 here. Okay. And actually, we can just go with the 7-5. Yeah. And Meinstein will go there. That's cool. Nobody's flipped over. That's really cool. All right. Further down, we have another 6-to-1 attack right here. That is also on the Blitzkrieg table, +1. 8, I already know what that is. He is dead. Not overall, not a bad turn for the fascists. I think that's probably all we're going to get out of that. Yeah, I don't have enough armor down here. Okay, now we're going to go head over to U-boat territory and see what happens over there. Okay, we have the North Sea and the Faroes Gap. So, Faroes Gap, that looks like a no. And North Sea. That looks like, I gotta go freaking dig the dice out. That looks like a definite yes. So the North Sea is a 1-6. So I gotta figure that out, and I'll be back shortly. Okay, in the North Sea, we have 8 surprise points. We have to use 4. The Germans have to use 4 to get a sub action. Otherwise, the Americans could have decided it was the naval air because they have a CBE there. And we're going to have, after the adjustments, we're going to have, let's see. Okay, against that, we're going to have 2 damaged subs, 1 aborted sub. Okay, so that's 2D, 1A, and 2 sunk. 2 sunk for the Commonwealth. 2D, 1A. After all the adjustments. Okay, so let's do the German subs first. We got 2 damaged. So, Commonwealth will pick it first. I guess we'll take the 9, because that's the easiest to damage. Gotta roll a 10 to save them. Let's see what they get. And he is damaged. He is going to be damaged. And the next damage, the Germans will take the 7. And he is not damaged. He will end up being aborted. So he will be flipped over. He will have to go home after this. And then we have 1 aborted. The Commonwealth will pick this 8. The Milchow. Oh, and he's only half aborted. Okay, so he's not going to get aborted. So we got 1 aborted, 1 damaged. And now we got 2 sunks for the Germans. Let's see. I think we're going to take 3 convoy points for sunks. That's a good amount. And then the Commonwealth will pick this American cruiser, I would say. Yeah. And he is a 8. Let's see, where's my die? Here he is. Oh, and he's going to be sunk. I rolled a 6. So down he goes. The Richmond goes down. Is that an older cruiser? Yeah, 1920. Yep. Alright, so that's the end of the sub-action. I think that's the end of the fascist impulse. Yeah, I want to say so. I think that's it. So I'm going to do the democracies next, and I will come back with a review of what they have done and any attacks if they have any. Okay, I just finished up the democracies. We had Free France declaring war on Vichy, and the U.S. and Britain, through their level 3 treaties, also declared war on Vichy. So now Vichy France is at war. I guess they could call out their reserves, which I might do. Really, I don't know. Anyways, they both Commonwealth and the U.S. took navals. The Free French took a land, and that was about it that happened. Down here in Africa, the situation is really bad. There isn't a whole lot I can do about it, but as well as over here in India, the good thing is all the Japanese units are face down. The nationalist Chinese didn't need to move anything. So that's going to wrap it up for the... Oh, and the U.S. did a naval transport to Guadalcanal from Suva. And they sent a couple ships over here. Let's see if that convoy thing does anything. Let me grab the dice. I'll roll them right here. They're in the 4 box. No, they roll a 5. They're not going to find anybody. So that's going to wrap it up for the democracies. And I'm going to move on to the communists. And I will come back shortly when I'm finished with them. I just finished up the communist impulse. And still maintaining a line in the north. We did plug that hole right there. And we still have a line in the south. It isn't shattered. And there's actually some troops there. I don't know how long Stalingrad is going to last. I think it's a red factory, so I don't think the Russians could have railed it out anyways. It is a red factory. So, we'll see what happens. Right now, the Germans got it on 3 sides. But we do have NKVD there, so they're not going to retreat. Alright, so that's it for the communists. And we'll move on to the fascist impulse. Okay, this weather roll has no modifier. And we roll a 2. Let's see, 2. Fair weather everywhere. Can the Germans be getting lucky? Who knows? So I'm going to go over here and do the fascist impulse, both for the Pacific and Europe. And we'll come back. I'll have any attacks they may or may not have. Well, any attacks they have. And we'll go from there. Okay, we have a little bit of action down here in Africa. First off, we have a ground strike. We need a 1. And of course we don't get it. Why would we? And then we have a 4-to-1 attack, +1 here. This is going to be on the Blitzkrieg table. And that's going to be a 5. 5 is cross 1R. So the territorial Egyptian unit is destroyed. And half the... That's 1. That's 2, 4. That's 6. So I got to flip 3. 2. 3. And that does that. That's it for Africa. There's no attacks in Asia. The Japanese merely moved some stuff around, built some units up in the Philippines. That was all they did. And over here in the Eastern Front, we do have a few attacks. First up, actually we only have 2 attacks. That's it. We have a ground strike here. There is a... We could have an interception here. I think we will. Yeah, the German made a mistake. They could have escorted, but they're out of range. Too bad. That's the way it goes sometimes. Alright, so we got a Soviet 4. That's going to be +3. He rolls a 10 on the +3. Attacker clears through anyone defending bomber. So the bomber will get through, but he does get to shoot back. The Stuka rolls a 13 on the -3. I think that's pretty much nothing. Yeah, the attacker clears through anyone defending bomber. Well, there ain't any defending bombers. So he will get through. He will execute his ground strike. That's going to go to Tula. Okay. So we have 2 units there. This is a 4. So the headquarters and the mechanized unit. So the headquarters will be the red, and the green will be the mechanized unit. Wow, both units are flipped. Oh, there may be a breakthrough up here instead of down by Stalingrad. Who knows? That's not even the Hex being attacked either. But that is a good result for the Germans. They're quite happy with that. Now we have a 5-1 +1 on the Blitzkrieg table against that Guards Army unit. Let's see what we get. 5-1 +1 Blitzkrieg. Oh, that's a 9. We know what those are. 2-star B. 2-star B. So he is gone. A Guards Banner Army bites it. And let's see here. Okay, we'll put that armor there. We will break through. We are going to break through. We are going to break through. That is awesome. That is awesome. And over here, we have a 7-1. 8-1, 7-1. 7-1. On the Blitzkrieg table. I think that's an automatic. Oh, yes, it is. Star 2B. So that headquarters dies. Making some progress here. Unbelievable. And that's going to wrap it up for the German attacks. We have some possible sub-action over there in the Atlantic. So let's go check that out. The Italians decided to add their subs. First up, we'll do the North Atlantic. That's going to be a 0. A pair of 7s is basically nothing. And now the Ferroscap. Well, we did okay in the Ferroscap, I think. Let's see. Got a 1 and a 6, so that's not too bad. I got to figure that out. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so the Americans have an ASW unit here with a red letter, so he shoots before the subs. So he decided to shoot at this sub because he's going to have an abort result, and it's an automatic because that sub is aborted, so that sub will not participate in the battle. And they're done. They're aborted. Like that. And what else? Oh, yeah, okay. All right, so we have the results are going to be, let's see, we have 11 ASW against 7 subs. I'm going to have 1 damaged and 3 aborted because I'm going to use 6 surprise points to move him down. 1 damage. That's the Commonwealth. They're going to pick the Italian sub, the 4-factor Italian sub, and he is indeed damaged. And then we have 3 aborted. The Germans will pick, don't matter, one of the 2s for an abort. He's not aborted. Rolled a 10, so he is half aborted. And Commonwealth will pick him again. That means he is fully aborted because another half abort would abort him anyways. And the last one, the Germans will pick this guy, and he is indeed aborted. So now we have the German results of 1 sunk, 2 damaged, 2 aborted. Well, the sunk is going to go on the convoy points, obviously. And we'll take this. Yeah. That's a convoy point. Let's get rid of that thing while we can. And now we got 2 damage. The Commonwealth will pick a damage. And we'll take that cruiser, I guess. That's a 7. Gonna roll the save. He doesn't. he's damaged. Well, he doesn't leave yet. Could be another round. And then the Germans will pick a damage. They'll pick that cruiser. Also, now he is sunk. Down he goes. Now there are two aborted. The Commonwealth will pick this cruiser to abort. That's a 7. And he's only half aborted. And the Germans will pick 3 convoy points to abort. And we're going to put them up here with a CPU thing to indicate they are aborted and not to be reused this turn. And now we're going to roll dice again and see if we have another round. See what we get. A pair of 5s. No. No. And no. Yeah. They can just pick air anyways. So, that's the end of that. He's damaged. He's going to go to get fixed. And that's the end of that. And that's the end of the fascist impulse. And I will come back in a few seconds with the Allied impulse. Okay, so the democracies took land actions. And what we got over here is we're going to have an invasion of Morocco. So the Americans are going to land here, 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 actually let's land here, 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 and we got some more. We're going to land him here and him here. So they're all going to land right there next to each other. And all these transports are all used up in not only transports but amphibious units. Monty's landing down here. Alright, so we're going to roll a die to see if the Free French units actually fight. Or not the Vichy French units actually fight. So here, the standard roll is a 4. So we're going to subtract 3 from the die roll. And they surrender. So they get ashore, no problem. Here, same thing. And they get ashore. Over here, it's going to be a +2 to the die. They fight. So we have 9 versus 1. With shore bombardment is going to be more than 10 to 1, so they will get ashore. So Vichy has been invaded. And the Americans are ashore in Africa. Let's go take a look at Egypt. You know, it's definitely a grave situation here for the democracies, no doubt about it. And that's about it, I think. Don't think anything happened over here with the French, Free French. Over there in India, we just had an Indian unit. Oops, excuse me, retreat. And that was it. Or do I want to do that? You know what? I'm not doing that. I'll rail that one over there too. Maybe we'll get the jump on the Japanese next turn. We'll be able to knock them back. Alright, I'm going to go to the Soviet impulse, and they got a serious issue up there they got to deal with. But, well, we're going to deal it, and we'll do it. I'll come back with a summary as soon as I finish. Okay, I just finished the Soviet impulse, and as you can see, we still have a line. Yes, indeed. All the way down to the Caucasus Mountains. From up there adjacent to Leningrad, which we lost last turn. But that's not something that I'm going to cry about. Yeah, we still got a line. It's not looking all that great, but it's still there. And the Communist Chinese are good where they are right now. I might adjust a few things. I think that will move there, that will move there, and that'll be that. And, alright, so that's it for the Communists. I'm going to come back with a fascist impulse in a second. Okay, here we are, back at the weather roll. Alright, still no modifier. 2, that's fair weather everywhere. Fair weather, boy. The fascists are getting lucky. They are getting lucky. Alright, I'll come back with the, after I finish the fascist impulse. Okay, we'll start over in the Pacific. And we have a invasion of Wake. He's out of supply because there's Japanese fleet here, a ship here, and a Japanese fleet here. So it's going to be, whatever. He's a 0 point, so he's dead. So that's how long Wake lasted. It held out longer than historical. Alright, we have a few attacks on the Eastern Front. There's nothing going on in the desert this turn because most of the fascist units are flipped over. Well, I will show you what's going on over here. The Italians came up and occupied Tunisia and landed some units in Algeria. I think that's about it. I don't really think Vichy's going to last much longer. But anyways, let's get over here and the wonderful. We have a 7-to-1 attack on the Blitzkrieg table here. That is an automatic. That's 2 headquarters that the Soviets have lost so far this turn. Maybe things are starting to turn around for the fascists. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Okay, over here we got a ground strike, but the Soviets are going to intercept, and the Germans are going to counter-intercept. So we're going to have an air battle. So we have the Soviets on the -1. They roll first. And they roll a 7, which is not bad on the -1. Defender abort. Defender aborts on front fighter or front bomber. The Germans are going to abort their front fighter. Take a chance. And now we got the German reply. They also roll a 7. That's on the +1. Attack or abort. So the Soviet fighter will be aborted. You can go 5. I think we'll put him up here. Safekeeping. And the ground strike will go through. Where's my German fighter? Alright, so we have We have 3 land units and an air unit. I don't know if the air unit gets a ground struck. I gotta check that. Okay, yes it is. Unfortunately, it is. Okay, because ground strike comes before ground support. So the red will be the bomber. What is that anyways? IL-2M. And the green will be the NKVD. We're looking for 5s, I believe. Yes, 5s. So the aircraft is flipped. Now the red will be the militia and the green will be the 7-4. And neither of those are flipped. So the only unit that got flipped was the... Oh, we have an anti-aircraft. This might not even have taken place. There is an anti-aircraft. Let me roll the dice for that. Before I get too far ahead of myself, I didn't even see that thing there. AA. And that is a total of... Shoots 3 times, so it'd be 12 points. There's 1, enemy bomber. Lowest of 4. Lowest of 4 dice. A 4 is not going to do anything. It had to be at least 5 to abort it. But I rolled 2 10s, a 9, and a 4. Wow. Alright, so that does take place. Okay. Alright, so he goes and flies away. Actually, going to land him right there. Alright, so now we have a 6-1 with a +1. With HQ support is a +2. It's a red factory. That makes it a +1. 6-1 on the ground assault table with a +1. That's a 7, which becomes an 8. That is a star to S. That's actually slips. There's no 6-1, so it'll be a 5-1. It's still a star to S. So that's going to eliminate the hex. I don't know what happened. I have to look up. I think the air units are eliminated as well because they're upside down. But the pilots aren't killed. Okay, these are all gone. That's gone. All this is gone. Alright, I'll look that up in a minute. Okay, the aircraft are destroyed. Unfortunately. And so the Germans gain Stalingrad. Now we got another 6-1 attack right here. That also is on the Blitzkrieg table. And roll a die. Blitzkrieg on 8. I don't even have to look. He's dead. And let's see. Uh-oh. I think Meinstein will advance. Like that. And we got a 5-1 attack down here. That, I don't think that there's any armor there. No, there isn't. No armor, so it's 5-1 on the assault table. No modifiers. Could screw this up. An 8. That is star to S. So he's toast. We'll advance with the Romanians. That is good. That is good. That is good for the Germans. All right, 2 things left to do. We got to do see if we're going to have some U-boat action over here. I doubt it. Yes, there will be a 3 and a 5. Will definitely be a U-boat action. I got to figure it out, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so what we have here is 5 surprise points for the Germans. They have to use 4 to pick a sub action because there is that CVE right there. That's saving grace for the democracies. So we have 7 ASW and 6 ships for the democracy, or the allies. I'm going to call them allies. They're allies. And for the Germans, we have 11 sub points and 4 subs. So what that is for the Commonwealth, they're going to inflict 2 damage and 1 abort. And for the Germans, they're going to inflict 1 sunk, 1 damaged, and 2 aborts. So let's do the subs first. It doesn't matter. It's kind of simultaneous because there's no ASW, red ASW. So they're going to pick a damage. We're going to try to damage this Italian sub. Have to roll better than a 7. And we didn't. He's damaged. And the Germans will pick that 2 right there. That's a 9. And he's damaged. And then we got one abort. And they'll pick this guy. He is aborted. So he's going to go away anyways. And now for the Commonwealth, we got 1 sunk, 1 damaged, and 2 aborts. So for the sunk, the Germans are going to pick 3 convoy points. That will go back in the Netherlands bag. And then the Commonwealth will pick for a damage. They'll pick their cruiser. That's an 8. And he's not damaged. He's aborted. So he's going to go away. And then we have 2 aborts. The Germans will pick this thing. I think it's an automatic. It's an automatic. So I'm going to put him in the CP used. And then for the second abort, it'll have to be 3 convoy points. And they will go in the CP used as well. Slowly winnowing this down. These 2 damaged subs are going to abort. Oh, it could be another round of combat. So let's just wait. Now let's see if we have another round of combat. Nope, not with an 8 and a 7, which is what I rolled. 8 and a 7. So now I will roll for the North Sea. Nope, that's not going to be anything either. Pair of 6s don't do much. Might be a nice poker hand, but nothing else. All right, so I'm getting the old damage box is getting piled up over there. All right, so that's going to end it for the fascists. I'm going to move on to the democracies, and I'll come back with a summary of what they did. Okay, for the democracies, we got a potential attack here. We got a 4-1. First, though, we have to roll the die to see if that Vichy unit will even fight. And it will not. It will surrender. So it's automatic. It's considered star 2S. There's no armor here, so unfortunately we can't break through. But we can occupy with a whole bunch of motorized units. And we have a potential bombing of Brussels. So let's go check that out. We're going to have an interception here. Got him, him. And we're going to jump on him with 2 German fighters. Actually, you know, I'm just going to bomb Lille. I think that's a better idea. That way we only get 1 German fighter on us. Like that. So it's going to be the +2, -2. I think after I finish this up, I'm going to call it for this video. And I'll do the other half at another time. The Germans shoot first. They get a 13 on the +2. That's defender abort. Defender abort on front fighter, front bomber. The Americans will abort their front fighter. And the Americans can shoot back on the -2. They roll a 12 on the -2. Attacker clears through anything. We'll go 1 more round, see if we can get that bomber through. And let's see here. That's going to be the +4 now. The B-17 is supposed to be able to do this. I rolled a 15. That is DX. So he's toast. He rolls back on the -4 though. He rolls a 5 on the -4. A 5 is attacker abort. Doesn't matter. It's going to fly back aborted anyways. Well, that's it for the bombing campaign. All right, so I'm going to stop right here, and I'll finish up this turn in the next episode. And it's going kind of interesting right now. We're going to start out with the Communist Impulse, and yeah, probably one of the more interesting games so far. Okay, so I would like to thank you for watching. like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode.